What's up, YouTube? I just made a video about solving Portswigger Lab, which is cybersecurity related, and so I am well entitled to a gaming stream right now. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to play Path of Exile 2. Where am I? What the heck is going on? I'm going to play Path of Exile 2. I keep clicking the wrong thing. In order, okay, so, alright, so I'll be playing Path of Exile 2 as on a stream, but I'm gonna keep it as a video, like a beginner's guide, where we will be going through things that I wish I knew when I started playing Path of Exile 2. So without further ado, and without me just blabbing, let's see if we can get my game capture to work here, because it is not capturing. My game capture is not working. I should have figured this out before streaming. Maybe we'll use display capture for this one then. Oh, even display. Oh, okay. So we got it now. Okay, 2 minutes. That's all good. Let's start by creating a new character, and we will be playing Fate of the Val, which is the current league. Now, we should start by explaining actually what is a league. I'm gonna assume that everybody here does not know anything about Path of Exile and did not play Path of Exile 1 or did not even touch the game at all. So the league is essentially some kind of a season in other games. So if you've played any other game, really, it's the same idea that of a season. Now, in a season or in a league, characters that you create will start from scratch, having no items, no currency, no nothing. You'll be starting from scratch. Everybody starts at level 1. So, of course, if you choose to participate in this league, you have to just create a character and replay the game from scratch. Now, the standard league is where your characters from this specific league, for example, Fate of the Val for this league, when the league ends, all of your characters are gonna get moved to the standard league. So even though you created your characters and then you played with them in the league, once the league ends, they will not just get deleted. They will be moved to the standard league. And in the standard league, you can just choose any character to play with. And you, of course, all of your items from that character and in your stash will be moved to the standard league as well. So you can keep playing your characters in standard without losing them. Now, there are 2 options for each league. Solo self found, that means you can just read it. The optional mode disables trade and party play for this character. You can convert it back to a regular character at any time. And then hardcore, if you die, you're just dead. It basically deletes your account, or not your account, your character rather. So you just have to create a new character there. So this is what a league is, and what we're gonna play in the league here, because it does not matter. We'll be playing a new character, and right here, you get to choose your characters. This is actually your character selection menu. Let's speak quickly about characters. One is a ranger. So this is your archer kind of play. And then if you hover over here, you get some featured gameplay of this character. Then the huntress is another version of the ranger, or it basically just uses a small shield and a spear. You can see some featured gameplay over there. The warrior is your heavy melee attack guy. The druid is essentially like a werewolf or a shapeshifter.
forests have no place for another of your kind. Let the great wolf hear your final remarks.
Then the witch is your standard necromancer.
Very own coven cast you out for your forbidden pursuits.
So you have minions and you have chaos magic,
Necromancy ends here.
osteomancy.
Speak your last.
So this is like your minion build, which actually is my most favorite build of all time, just using minions. But for the sake of explaining things and being actively playing the game, I'm gonna be going a sorceress, which is your like magic, typical magic dealing type.
Banished by your Akara.
So you have fire spells, cold spells, and lightning spells.
Arrogance has led you here. And arrogance keeps you on
Now,
those
my favorite type of spells is the cold spells, so that's what I'll be using. I'll be using a sorceress cold spells. But feel free to just use the character that you like most. There are some characters that are not available yet. Now, the mercenary is one of the most interesting playstyles, and I think they're pretty cool and new in like Path of Exile franchise. So it's kind of like those action RPG games where you play like hack and slash ARPG. I think maybe Hades, if you've ever played the Hades game. This is the closest thing to it, perhaps. Maybe not as accurate as I'd like, but I cannot think of anything that is similar to it. But you can try the mercenary, it's pretty enjoyable. And then the monk, he's kind of your like swift martial arts kind of guy.
poisoning my subjects against me. Call out your dream.
Okay,
Let us.
so I'll be playing the sorceress, and then I'll be going for cold spells. Of course, these are just like, you do not get to choose here. These are just like informative videos.
Arrogance keeps you on those gallows. Speak your piece.
I guess I'll be playing sorceress because I think it's the easiest to explain things for these formats of videos. But then if this video gets any traction at all, maybe we could do like a mercenary playthrough, because I'm actually interested in the mercenary. Or I could do like my favorite and actually just do a minion build
Foul witch.
and see,
Your very own
like,
coven
at least when the game launched, minions were not as good as I want them to be. Were pretty boring.
sorceress.
But maybe we'll just retry it. Okay, so now I selected the sorceress. I'm gonna click continue.
Arrogance has led
You get to name your character.
and arrogance keeps you on those gallows.
47 YouTube.
Speak your piece.
And yep. So they just execute everybody, and then the character you choose just gets to magically survive. Yay. You'll be presented with a very important choice right now that's gonna affect how you play the game, but you can change it anytime, like don't fret. Which is the movement type. Now, if you've ever played I was gonna say Mass Effect, I don't know why. If you've ever played Path of Exile 1, choosing mouse is gonna be the natural option, because in Mass Effect, Mass Effect, what's wrong with me? In Path of Exile 1, using the mouse to move is it's basically your only option. But in Path of Exile 2, you can choose WASD to move with that. Now, I actually would recommend using WASD because in Path of Exile 2, it is important to have fine control and fine movement control over your skills and over your movement, because you'll be moving and dodging a lot of the attacks, unlike Path of Exile 1, which is most likely about numbers instead of like pure dodging and movement mechanics. But yeah, I would do recommend using WASD, but you can always change it anytime. To change, you can just press escape, options.
They will suffer for this.
I think it's input. Yeah, input, and then you can choose things here. Alright,
By the first ones. You're
so
alive.
you can open the map right here, which is your overlay map. I'm using the tilde icon. You can change that in your controls. Where is it? Input, and then it should be like a map here, overlay map or something similar to this. There we go, overlay map. Okay, so this is what happens when this shows up. Talk to the wounded man.
Your leg. What
The
the?
miller went off to warn Clear. I was fixing to go after him. Now, I would appreciate it if you could.
Okay.
Death comes swiftly here.
So you picked
I
up
should keep moving.
you picked up your first weapon, which is the of course your weapon is going to depend on the class you choose actually. So because I am a sorceress, I got a staff, an ashen staff. Now, if you've ever played again, I was going to say Mass Effect. Did something wrong with me. If you've ever played Path of Exile 1, you will know that this is almost the same intro as PoE 1. But you can essentially open your inventory by pressing I by default by changing it to tab. Now, what you could do is grab your staff right here and just put it in your weapon. And then you can press tab or click the X icon to close. Now, you'll notice that because I have equipped my staff here, I'm gonna get a skill, which is the Firebolt. Now, unlike Path of Exile 1, finally I said it right this time, PoE 2, whenever you pick up a weapon, oh, you don't see the things here because of my camera. Give me... Can I move my camera? I don't know why I can't move my camera. Oh, there we go. I don't know if this is good enough. Yeah, good enough, I guess. Okay, so I was speaking about these. So these are like your skills and your skills, yeah. And here is your flasks. So the skills here, unlike Path of Exile 1, where you had to get skills from gems, you still have gems in PoE 2, but because or like in PoE 2, every item or every weapon is going to have a skill that is built into it. Now, because I have an ashen staff now, I immediately get access to the level 1 firebolt. Now, the level 1 firebolt is just a fireball skill. It is the exact same as fireball from PoE 1. There are 3 different types of staves. There's a staff for fire, one for ice, and one for lightning. So these are just some drowns, whatever. Drowned. Just kill them. Now, the most important thing that you should learn at this point is the spacebar. Spacebar lets you do a roll and dodging. You are gonna be using this a lot, so get used to it and learn how to like dodge properly. It is very important in this game, unlike like PoE 1 where it was just running around and clearing as fast as possible.
Power can hide where you least expect.
You need to be more methodical here. Now, if you have noticed these, you don't see it now because my camera is in the way, but these blue things, these are fog of war. So this blue line here like says you have not explored the area beyond this line yet. So you could just walk towards the line to explore more. So what you'll be doing generally is just be going towards the yellow line in order to explore more and progress in the map. Now you'll see here that there is a barrier. This barrier is not going to let you through unless you equip your first gem. So to do that, you can just open your inventory, click on the gem, it's already Spark, and then you're going to place on an empty area here. So because you have Spark right now, you can just click on Spark and then move it anywhere here. Or you could just click there and then click on the gem here, or like on the skill that you want to assign to the slot. So to do that, I could just press escape to close everything, and then I have Spark assigned to my right click. I'm going to use right click.
Inspiring.
And then it's going to use that skill. Now, notice this skill actually uses mana, but this skill does not. The built-in skills, built-into weapon skills, do not use mana. But using like external gems or external skills uses mana. You'll see the cost here, 5 mana. And this is the amount of mana you have. This is the life and shields. You actually could not have these numbers above your health and your mana. It is somewhere in the game. Is it the interface, perhaps? gameplay, show life mana levels. There we go. So interface, gameplay, and there you go. Can also add show flask buffs because we're gonna probably use this. Keep sprinting while moving. Okay, we'll see what this is. Oh, a checkpoint. I forgot to explain what a checkpoint is. So a checkpoint is whenever you die. Yeah, you can see it here. Checkpoints represent your life, mana, and flask. If you die, you can respawn at the last active checkpoint. Monsters spawn with you. Yeah, so if you die, the monsters are gonna spawn. But instead of spawning like at the start of the map, you'll be spawning at checkpoints. You can also fast travel between checkpoints. And I just took an insane amount of damage. Which is fine. The game stopped and tells you that you can use your life flask to restore your life. So this is a life flask, this is a mana flask. Pretty standard stuff. Now you can see that Spark does not deal a lot of damage per se, but it can actually shock enemies. Which I should have explained that more. Let's shock another enemy and just look at it. Oh, this guy just died. So what shocking does, it basically makes the shocked enemy take more damage. So this is your first boss fight. And this shocking here will be pretty easy. So you can see it here, he's shocked and also flammability, which means he's more susceptible to get flamed. And yeah, you can see now that he's on fire and he's taking fire damage per second because he's literally on fire by ignited damage. Now, spacebar to just get out of the way. Yeah, just watch for his red thing. Yep. And then just dodge out of the way. Spam your sparks to destroy multiple enemies. Once you get him shocked, you can just spam him. You will notice this bar right here. This is his stun bar. So whenever it gets filled, it's gonna get stunned, and then it's gonna pause his actions for a bit, which is gonna make him like susceptible to heavier attacks and things that deal a lot of damage but take a lot of time to cast, stuff like that.
The first step on my chosen path. He bore the mark of corruption. I know
So
it.
these are a bunch of items here. Items is a huge topic that we'll try to talk about it as it rises up. We're gonna pick up the scroll of wisdom. We're gonna pick up this, and then this one gives evasion energy, and then this one gives armor. I'm gonna get this one, and then we'll explain what a scroll of wisdom is real quick. A scroll of wisdom is essentially used to identify unidentified items. You can see here that these are unidentified. Now, because this item is magic, that means, so we need to talk about item rarity. You have normal items which are white, similar to this. You can see that the name there is white. You have blue items, which is magic, and then you have yellow items, which is I don't remember what they're called, honestly. Like not magic. What was it called? Damn it, I forgot. Anyway, we're gonna get to it when we get to it. But there's like the next level, and then there's unique, which is above the one that I forgot its name right now. So these items, essentially the rarity of the item dictates how many affixes it can have. Affixes are essentially more attributes to the item, so more power to the item that you have. Because this is a blue item, it can only have one affix and one prefix and one suffix. So two affixes. So if I use a scroll of wisdom, I can just right click and then left click on the boots here. I only got one power here, which is plus 8% to fire resistance. So I can just wear them as my sandals. And then I'm going to use another scroll of wisdom here. I also got one affix, also 8% fire resistance. Let's use this guy. Maybe we get two here. Yeah, we got two. So this is the max number of affixes we can get on a blue item. You can see it says plus 16 to maximum life and 1.7 life regeneration per second. I'm actually going to use this instead of this. Oh, by the way, let's explain something real quick. Affixes are essentially things that you get extra to the item, depending on the item rarity. But each base item actually has built-in affixes. So for example, because this body armor, actually it has evasion rating and energy shield. So these are built in to the item itself, which are these things right here. Because this item has quality, the built-in numbers or the modifiers here, the 18 and 18 here, they are in yellow. Sorry, in blue. That's why they are in blue, because this item has quality. But if I hover this item, it does not have quality, so that's why it's given us armor 45 in white instead of blue. So the blue here means that the amount here is increased, the evasion rating and energy shield, because the item is quality plus 12%. If I remember correctly, the max quality is 20%. I think that is, I think this is correct. Now let's talk about skills. We have had this pop up for a while now, and we gain the skill point. So if I press C to open my character menu, you can see my level up here. And because I'm level 2, that means I moved from level 1 to level 2, and I gained a point. We'll be talking about this character menu later. I'm gonna press here, and then it's gonna open this humongous tree. So this is the passive skills tree. Now, this tree is one of the main reasons a lot of people just quit Path of Exile, because of just how big and how complex it might look, but it's actually really, really simple. What you need to do is completely ignore everything and just look at where you start. We are starting here because we are a sorceress. What actually happens is that this is not specific to the sorceress character. In fact, every character you choose, depending on even if their class is different, no matter what their class is, they will start with the exact same passive skills tree. So this tree is the exact same no matter what character you play. And yes, you can pick whichever node on the passive skills tree that you ever like. The power of Path of Exile is that it does not limit you to anything. You can essentially pick up a staff and play a magic role as a melee character, like the warrior or whatever the class name was. You could pick like a witch, like a minion based witch, and then you could just play like a crossbow. You can do whatever the heck you want. At least that's how it was in Path of Exile 1. I'm actually not super sure if Path of Exile 2 removed the ability to just use weapons from different classes, but at least the passive skill tree here, it is always the same for all characters. The only thing that changes is where you start. So you see these empty nodes here. This is where you would start if you choose a different character. So for example, here, this one gives you armor and melee damage. So I assume this is where you would start if you were a melee character, like a warrior character, and so on. Now, each node of this is actually gonna give, do something to you. This one gives you increased spell damage. This one gives you increased energy shield. Energy shield is this yellow bar around your health, or around your life, this bar right here. And you can see I have 14 out of 14. An energy shield is essentially just extra life, but it just recharges on its own, and it has its own pool of affixes that items could roll. So for example, increased percentage to energy shield starts regenerating faster, and so on. So essentially it's just life that regenerates on its own, unlike your life, which has life regeneration specific affixes. So what I'm going to choose is I'm actually going to choose increased spell damage. I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to click apply points. Or I could just hold control and click on it. This is going to immediately assign the assign the node to my character. So right now I just completely picked it up without having to click on it and then click apply. Awesome. So if you press U, you're going to see this map right here, which is essentially your world map. We'll get to this later. I just wanted this little exclamation icon to go away.
Elton, please come inside.
So the very first encampment or town that you're going to visit is Clearfell. And Clearfell is the area where
There is
you
a small
can
trace of hope in the air.
come back to and then use the well here in order to refill your life, your shields, your mana, your flasks. So it's important to use like if you're in trouble, just come back to the city, use the well, and then go back. You can do that easily by using a portal. Well, I'll show you that. You can essentially use portal by clicking here. Now, let's talk to Renly.
Friendly's the name. Your skill.
This icon on top means he has a quest. So he's gonna give you an uncut skill gem. I'm gonna explain what these are, but there are two ways you could accept things from people. You could just click on it and then put it in your inventory, or you could just control click. And this is what you'll see me doing all the time. So he's gonna keep blabbing about stuff. I don't care about the lore so much or the narrative. You can enjoy that on your own. So I'll try to be just going for gameplay and explanation as much as possible. One thing we could do is we could talk to random dudes here, buy or sell, and then let's sell this, which is gonna give you gold. Now I have a bunch of gold here because I already made a character and played on this league, which gets me to another point. Your stash. Now your stash might not look like this. It's because I have premium stash tabs. But you'll see that I have a bunch of currency, I have a bunch of gems, and I have items and so on. This is because I've played the game and the stash is shareable between characters in the same league. Now this is important. So if you have like 2 or 3 characters in the same league and they are not SSF or so self-found, they will be sharing stash with each other and sharing gold, obviously. Now let's ignore the stash for now, ignore everything you've seen, sorry. Let's go to our uncut skill gem. An uncut skill gem is essentially a way to get gems or to get skills without giving you specific skills. So unlike PoE 1 where you had to choose the gem for your specific skill, you're just gonna get an uncut gem and then you can right click it to essentially choose whatever gem you want. Now, whatever skill you want from that gem. By default, it's gonna be like showing you some things that are related to your chosen character, so it's gonna make it easy for you. But you can just choose all gems here and you will see all the available skills in the game that you can get from these gems. Now these are not exactly all the available skills because these are active skills, and then you're gonna have support skills and support skill gems, but we'll talk about those later. Now I'm gonna stay on elemental because these are the ones I care about, and I'm actually gonna pick Ice Nova, and then I'm gonna click engrave. So now my uncut skill gem is gonna turn into Ice Nova. I'm gonna equip that the same way we equipped the previous spark, and then I'm gonna change my bindings. I want the Ice Nova to be on my right click and spark on Q. Perfect.
Welcome to the camp of the lost.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip all of the talking.
Best not do that here.
And we have 1 scroll of wisdom. Actually, I'm not gonna use anything from my stash, so I'll be like going through the game as if I was a completely new player and completely new character. By the way, you will not see real players as you roam the map, but you will see real players in towns. But this instance of the map is for you only, so you will not see real players here.
Feel the kill.
So this is what Ice Nova does, is essentially it just freezes enemies in their place if you pass the chill like modifier here. So you can see now it's frozen, and then you can see the effects right here, which they did an absolute awesome job of doing. So if an enemy dies while they're frozen or while they're burning and stuff like that, their corpse is gonna show that, and this is beautiful. Now, I said that I'm gonna be using a cold spells. Why am I using all 3 spells and all 3 elements? One, I'm still not specialized in any spell, like any damage type yet, because I did not pick any passive skills to support this. The second reason is that I do not have access to any other spells, so I'll be using whatever I can get. So let's actually test, and yes, you can see that I'm using a crossbow even though I am a sorceress. So yeah, my point stands that you can use whatever weapons you want, but does it make sense for your build? Probably not. But you will see guys on the internet, people that are using completely insane builds that do not make sense. at least at first, but then you will see how the synergy works out. And this is the beauty of Pass of Exile in general, 1 and 2, is the ability to just mix and match everything to come up with the craziest thing ever that just works. Let's kill these dudes. I'll be clicking 2 to refill my mana as I see, as I use my mana. Something you should know is that your flasks fill by just killing monsters. So the more monsters you kill, the more mana charges you refill. So don't be scared to use your mana.
Still alive within this time.
Okay, so this is what is called a league mechanic. Now each new league is gonna come with a unique mechanic that you essentially have to do. So right here, this mechanic says just sacrifice monsters, which means exactly what it means.
The others wait.
Activate 5 additional beacons. Okay. So lesser life, 5. This, you can see here, it says recovers 50 life over 3 seconds. This one does the same, so there's no difference. I'm not going to pick that up. Orb of Transmutation. I'm going to explain what these are right now. I don't care about a bow or a spear. Alright. An Orb of Transmutation, you can actually see that it upgrades a normal item to a magic item. So a normal item is the white item, and then the magic item is the blue item, which has 2 affixes. So we can actually use this on our staff because both my boots and my body armor are already magic. So I can use it on my staff, which you can see now it gave it an extra affix, which says 16% increase the mana regeneration rate. So that means my mana is going to regenerate 16% faster. Now, is it worth using your items or your currency on low level items like that? No. Because you're going to be changing your items a lot as you're going through the campaign. So unless you are like stuck with a boss or something, or you feel like your damage is not good enough, then it's worth going back and just doing an item upgrade, which we're going to explain a few ways to do so. Not only using your currency, but you can also gamble for items using gold, or you could just buy items off vendors. But yeah, do not like waste all of the currency you have, because you're going to need it for more higher level items. You'll also notice there's a bit of inaccuracy with your projectiles, and this is completely fine. So we got a passive point, which we're gonna do. Control click, I'm gonna get more increased spell damage, which is good. We're gonna walk this path, getting more spell damage, and then from here, you'll actually see here that you are getting to choose things about elemental infusions and flammability, freeze buildup, and so on. We'll be explaining that when we get to it. If you ever feel lost, you can press tilde or I don't know the default, maybe M by default. I actually don't remember, but you can open like your map and then just see what's going on there. I have a mini map here that's underneath my camera that you don't care about it, but this is what I'm looking at right here to know what I'm looking for. Now the waypoint is a way to travel between different maps. So here, this is the Clearfield map. I can use a waypoint to teleport back to the city, or I could just open a portal to the nearest town, which is going to go to the Clearfield encampment. Now, there's a checkpoint right next to Mud Barrow. Now, if you open your map, you can see that this Mud Barrow is a new map. And our objective is in the current map. So we actually discovered the way to go forward, but we don't want to go forward yet. So we're going to be looking to search Clearfield to find the Mud Barrow entrance to slay the Devourer. Okay, so our objective is actually to go through the Mud Barrow. Okay.
Disgusting. Everything is wet and vile in Ogam. Another of these ancient constructs.
Ow, 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 ow. So be careful to not stay in one place, because if you do not move, you are gonna get farmed. You're literally farmed. So a shabby hood. Let's use our... Oh, nice. Let's use our Scroll of Wisdom because it was unidentified. This item gives me increased energy shield. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upgrade my normal item here to a magic item in order to explain the Orb of Augmentation. It says it augments a magic item with a new random modifier. Now the word augments here is very important because that means it gives your blue item a new modifier without modifying the existing ones. So that means it can only be used on an item that has, or a blue item that only has one affix, like this guy, or like my weapon, which is actually more interesting to use on than this body armor. So it says plus 21 to maximum mana, 16% increased mana regen rate. So you can see that by 16% increased mana regen has not changed, but I gain a new affix, which is 21 maximum mana, which you will see reflected here if you were paying attention. Let's use sparks on these guys, and then boom.
Feel the chill.
Feel the chill. Right, a checkpoint. Going to checkpoints usually means there's a boss nearby. Usually though, not always, but most likely there is something nearby. Pick up the Scrolls of Wisdom. You're gonna need a bunch of these. This is gloves. We do not have gloves, so this is useful. And plus 7 to dexterity. We don't care about dexterity. Dexterity is the main attribute for like rangers and archers. If you press C, you're gonna see all of your attributes here. Attributes dictate, you can like just hover over them. You can see 1 intelligence is plus 2 mana, 5 intelligence is plus 1 to intelligence support gym capacity. I'm gonna explain what this is when we get to it. But then you have dexterity and then you have strength. As I was saying, you can fast travel between checkpoints. If you click on a checkpoint, you can press on another checkpoint on the map and you will fast travel between them.
Die, scum.
Stop the criminal scum. Ow, 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 ow. All right. Now I know that we don't feel super strong right now, but that's okay because we're only just beginning and this is how you're supposed to feel at the start of the game. Not for all classes, of course. There are classes that start stronger than others. But once we actually get our like the skills that we like to use, or I like to use as a cold mage, then you'll see why I love this this character or this class. This is a Woodman's Locker. It's gonna give us, I believe, some currency. Do not step on this area because your feet is gonna get dirty. Let's open this twig circuit, circlet. Sorry. This one gives us evasion, which is the same build as this. So probably the affix is gonna be related, but let's see. 10% increases rarity of items found. That's not bad. It's better than 7 dexterity. So the items that are gonna drop are 10% more rare. I don't know how this is dictated in the game, but you're just gonna trust it. So you'll probably be getting better items now, like 10% better items. Probably influences the chance of dropping an item that is like has 2 affixes maybe instead of 1, or maybe instead of a blue you get a yellow or something like that. Rare. This is the name of yellow items, the rare items. So you have normal, magic, rare, and unique. Was milking my brain for that one. Okay, let's this looks like a boss arena, because it is. You can see Vile Nest. Oh, you don't see it because it's beneath my camera, but it says Vile Nest on the location. Uh-oh. So yeah, let's try to get it shocked, because shocked dudes take more damage. And it is the safest skill that I have because of the range. Although it just goes, whoop, just goes in all directions, but no. Also chill, by the way, this here, it slows down the actions of the enemy. So whenever you're, whenever you are like the enemy is too fast and you're playing cold or have something that can chill, use that, because chill actually just slows down the actions of the enemy. This is called freeze build-up. When it reaches 100, you can see what happens here. The monster just freezes in place. And this is super strong against bosses specifically. Now, bosses have like more freeze build-up resistance. And it does not last as long on them, but it is still super good. You can deal an insane amount of damage on them. And then, when we get more skills in the future that actually use or consume this freeze buildup on monsters to deal like massive amounts of damage. So it is both like really good offensively and defensively. One of the reasons I love using cold instead of something pure damage like fire. Shut up, we already killed it.
I have wandered the Vestiri. This was not a challenge.
Okay. So this is our first yellow item, our first rare item. We're gonna pick that up. Arcanus Itcher improves the quality of a wand, staff, or scepter. Remember the quality that we talked about? Our first body armor that had 12% quality. This is an item that could add quality to your body armor. I'm not going to use that right now. Now, you can see Uncut Skill Gem, and it is level 2. Now it's time to talk about gem levels. I don't care about this shabby hood right now, because I'm going to be using this. It gives us plus 12 to maximum mana, 6 strength, 8 piercing cold resistance, 2.5 life regeneration per second. Like, we're going to be using this helmet. Now, what is the difference between yellow and blue again? I should ask a quiz or do a quiz about this, but I'm going to answer that for you. A blue item can only have 2 affixes. A yellow item can have up to 6 affixes. Pretty cool. 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes. What is the difference? A prefix, or essentially prefixes and suffixes, each have a specific pool of modifiers that they can roll. So by learning the modifiers, you can actually like craft your item better. Crafting is very complicated in Path of Exile, and we will not be going through it just yet because it is an advanced topic that I don't want to talk about just now. Let's throw away our stuff here. We could sell it, but it's not worth it. Now, Uncut Skill Gem 2, let's right click that. Now you will see we have 2 options. We can actually upgrade. You can see the plus icon right here, the small plus icon. This actually is used to upgrade an existing skill to the next level, which makes it stronger. Or you can use it to unlock a new gem or a new skill. And this is what we're going to do. I'm going to get the Frost Bomb because we'll be using that quite a while or quite a bit against future bosses. More spell damage. We already said that we're going to be going this path until we choose otherwise. Okay. So we killed the boss, talk to Renly for your reward, and then we can activate 4 additional beacons. Now what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to go around and explore this unexplored area. I like to clear the area I'm in because it gives you the most XP. You don't have to, like the difference is, I don't think it's like really worth it, But for me, I think it's fun to just like run around and kill mobs. Now I'm using my new spell here, or my new skill, the Frost Bomb. You can see it's just the bomb that stays on the ground for a bit and then it charges and boom. Now I did not want to get into this, but we do have a cold infusion. So this skill, whenever it is destroyed, it leaves behind a cold infusion. Whenever I have a cold infusion, you can see my skill here looks a bit like stronger. And because if I execute it right now, you will see how big it is and it deals a lot more damage. So essentially you will have skills that create infusion orbs. And then whenever you pick up an infusion, it's gonna power up other skills, make them stronger. And then there are some passive skills. For example, if I click P, you can open your passive skill tree. And then you can see here 20% increased elemental infusion duration, and then remnants can be collected from 30% further away. Remnants are the little fragments that you collect in order to gain infusion, and then infusion is like the buff itself or the skill itself that appears on the top left here. So you can start to see now the synergy that we'll be going for. Now also this Frost Bomb actually deals a lot of damage when it explodes, even without like an infusion. So this is why like we'll be using it against bosses. So now I have these guys frozen. I could just cast the Frost Bomb on him. Boom. I can pick up the remnant right here. And then essentially you can see my Ice Nova became much stronger. Uh-oh. You can see this guy is super slow because I have him chilled. If you see at the debuffs that he has right here. Okay, so we destroyed the hatchery. I don't know what the hatchery is. Maybe it's just because there are a bunch of eggs around. Or maybe there are other hatcheries. I actually don't know. Let's go to this area and see what we have over there. Yeah, don't get jump scared by this game. The funny thing is, I could just like look around while monsters are frozen and just watch them die by the Frost Bomb. And boom. A locker, and we get a superior twig circlet. Now why is it superior? Because it has quality. 13 maximum life, 7% life resistance, fire resistance. If you hold shift, by the way, you will compare this item to the item you have equipped currently. So you can see this one gives me 13 maximum life, 7% fire resistance. The other one gives me 12 mana, 6 strength, 8% cold resistance, and 2.5 life regeneration rate, plus the armor, the 29, and then the energy shield on the other side. So it really depends on what you want to run here, the comparison. There is no like right or wrong options this early in the game. But yeah, you should be understanding what's going on, because we'll be moving on from the simple things to like more challenging content of the game. This video or this stream will probably be a bit longer than my usual 1-hour videos. I'll try to just showcase as much as possible, so it is useful for all levels. Starting to feel a bit dry, so I'm gonna pour myself some a drink. A very unhealthy non-alcoholic drink. Cheers. All right. We need to go back to what's this called? Clearfell. But we actually can look for the Rotten Pack, which I think is in the current area. So, I forgot to explain this. This is a boss that if you kill in this map, is gonna give you. Do you see the plus icon here? That means it's gonna give you something extra. It depends on the type of boss that you kill here. And then the mysterious campsite, this means it is a loot site. So essentially a site that you can visit to loot. Which we're gonna do right now. Let's go take a look around the current map before we return to the town. I hate these hags so much. Vile hag. Die, bitch. Oh, it did not die. Okay, now it dies. I think in this open area it shows how strong the Ice Nova with the remnant is. We can pick it up and then boom. Oh, I do not want to use the bomb there. So you pick up the frost bomb for mainly two reasons. One of them is the remnant, of course. The other reason would be just how strong the damage is against bosses. Boom. And we can do that, just clear out these mods. Alright. Chest rough grievers. We can check the grievers actually. You do want armor early in the game. At least in the plus 25 to armor. That's not bad. Now I want you to understand something. This plus 25 to armor here is, you can even see it. It's using this armor right here. So this is actually not global to your like global armor. This is to the item that like this is local to the item that you are currently wearing. So it's increasing the armor here. That's why this is blue right now. So that means this is affected positively by something, which is this right here. You'll see this is a prefix. So you actually, if you hold Alt to inspect the item, so I'm holding Alt right now on my keyboard, you can see this is a prefix. And you can also see that it is a T7. Now a T7 is a tier 7 and is one of the lowest tiers. So the higher the tier, the better the modifier. So I'm actually going to use this instead of the fire resistance. Now you can see I have 0 energy shield, but I don't care. And we actually found an abandoned stash, which is the campsite here. You loot it and you get an uncut skill gem. Lovely. It is a level 1, so we can use it to just get the flame wall, which is okay for me. Like, there's nothing else I could use it for. That's okay with me. And you can read some lore here. You can do that on your own, so I'm not like spoiling the game for you. This is a boss, a mini boss, a map boss. I don't know what to call it, but this is Bera. Let's kill her. So you will see here that the flame wall is actually having an effect on our. I don't know if you can notice it or not, but it is making our fireball stronger. It can also make other projectiles longer. Longer? Did I say? I mean stronger. So you look at the, you can see the projectiles of, what is it called? Of sparks. Okay, it's dead. If you see the flame wall right here, and then I cast sparks, you can see the sparks now is not only shocking, but is also putting them on fire, or like making them inflammable. Flammable. Yeah. You can actually read this. Create a wall of fire that ignites enemies and your projectiles. Make sure to read all of that stuff here because they will actually give you so much details. I don't want to go through this and be boring because you may not even be playing Sorceress. But read these things. It is very important. It's going to give you a lot of information. Because what's it called? The boss had a plus icon here. That means they dropped something, and this is the item that they dropped. Is the item gone? What the heck? It's right there. Why is it? I don't know if that's a bug in the game or not. But essentially, if you press Z, you hide all the items on the ground. So I pressed that by mistake. But then when I unpressed it, or like pressed it again in order to unhide items, it didn't show anything. So right now there's an item on the ground that I don't see it, but I press it again and now I see it. But I just did not see this head of the winter wolf. Probably a bug or something. But anyway, this item, let's drop all of these useless items. Let's see this. 10% increased movement, plus 7 to stun threshold. Don't care. So you can see if you use this item, it grants 10% to cold resistance. So you just right click on the item, and just like that you have just global 10% to cold resistance. So this is why the boss right here had a plus icon. And you can see it's now 10% to cold resistance. So if you're ever in a map that you see it has like, you can see this boss right here does not have a plus icon, so it's not going to give you a plus or like an item. But it's still worth killing, you know. Like don't leave bosses alive, because they'll give you experience if they will not. They'll also give you items, just not a unique item, like our boss here. But they will still drop like regular items. Grow cold. Now you will notice in PoE 2 you have to use like a combination of skills. Unlike PoE 1 where you just had one main skill and then you built around it, PoE 2 doesn't work that way. Whether this is a positive or a negative, that's up to you. There are a lot of people that don't like PoE 2 and still play PoE 1. There are a lot of guys that like PoE 2 and how it's more skills oriented rather than numbers oriented. I mean, numbers in PoE 2 are still important, don't get me wrong, but by numbers here, I mean like your like damage numbers and your resistances and your item like effects and so on. But there is a lot of emphasis as well on your dodging and movement abilities, and then your skill synergy skills, like which skill goes before which skill to maximize the synergy and then just be like outputting a lot of damage. And don't worry, like don't stress too much about it. Even don't stress if you die. You will probably die a lot in this game. You see me like going through bosses without dying or anything. That's because I've played the game a lot and I have died a lot. So yeah, don't sweat it if you're dying or you feel like the game is hard. That's okay. That's how it's supposed to feel, at least at the start. And then as you get stronger and you unlock more skills, the more synergies you're going to have and the more fun you're going to have with the game, essentially. You can see even monsters have rarities, by the way. This monster is a blue monster, if you can see above. So like even monsters do have modifiers and have rarities. So blue monsters actually are stronger and they could have modifiers to their health or their damage, or maybe they take less damage or they have more speed, stuff like that. But killing them guarantees an item of their rarity. So if you kill a blue monster, you are guaranteed a drop of a blue item. So for rare monsters. As far as I know, there are no unique monsters except like bosses, of course, and they are not guaranteed to drop a unique item.
Desert fire. My way forward is clear.
More scale, more damage. Chicos Pointus, the Grim Tangle. Are we supposed to go to the Grim Tangle? I think we are. Yeah, so the Grim Tangle is here. By the way, you do not need to go back to the town in order to pick up a quest and progress with your game. You can see here my current quest is to go back, but I do not care. I can just keep clearing maps and going forward and then finishing quests without even unlocking them, essentially. So yeah, the developers of the game are actually pretty good with this because they know there are a lot of people that are gonna play the game, and they don't want to like waste time just going back to town, talking to the dude, and then learning about the story, which is essentially the same. We'll be playing the same story over and over again each season. So this is actually good. It gives like it's more about gameplay. Just keep playing. You only go back to town if you need to go back to town to trade some items or to use the well to refill your mana and life flasks or your health or whatever. So yeah, there's no going back until you need to go back, but not to like pick up quests and well, you could go back to pick up rewards for your quests because you only get the rewards when you talk to the guy in town. But again, like the rewards might not be very incentive for you, and then you'll eventually go back anyway, so you're not urged to go back in order to progress the game. You're not forced to, but you have the choice to go back. Checkpoint. So I know I have an infusion right now. I don't want to waste it on one mob. I'm not 3 mobs. Maybe now. Right. So using the combination of Firewall and Sparks is pretty good early on. Also, when mobs get close, I could just Ice Nova to slow them down. Weak monsters that have, or maybe just solo monsters, and monsters that have low HP, I could just finish them off with Firebolt. So you can see like the synergy going between my skills here. You can see here, this is our first yellow monster. So you can see he has extra fire damage and periodically unleashes ice.
A third node in this network.
So you can see that he has like,
I can't do that yet.
he has affixes, just like items.
Victory is mine.
So I said that killing them guarantees a drop. He did not drop a yellow item. I don't know why. Maybe I was wrong about the guaranteed thing, but I thought that's how it worked. But it looks like I'm incorrect here, so my apologies for that. Cap information. We do not have any new currency to talk about, so we're good here. I like to have my scrolls of wisdom always here, so that's why I'm moving them. Doesn't mean anything. The hooded one.
This tree has an abundance of energy.
All part of the story. I don't care much. I'm just gonna be skipping.
I'll wait here. Old magics will protect.
So you actually like have a reason to play if you care about the lore and the story and all of that stuff. I don't want to spoil everything for you. Now a talisman goes here and they are equipped with your belts. I don't have a belt yet, so that's why I cannot pick up a talisman or use a talisman right now. Fungal zombie. This looks like the clicker from The Last of Us. Bunch of yellow mob or blue mobs. This is a hut that has a boss fight. An annoying boss fight, actually.
Vile sorcery hangs
So,
in the air.
do not pick these up. You get a medium life flask and a medium mana flask, but do not pick them up yet, even though they are better. Because when you equip them, they will be empty, so you will not be able to use them. So I want to keep my current flask to use in the fight. Now you see why it's annoying, because she's using frost bomb against me, and she's actually slowing me down whenever I walk on this, but she's not like hard by any means.
Corrupted or not, your kind deserve no better.
Unlucky that the yellow item I dropped is a short bow, but whatever. Now we get a support gem. This is our first introduction to support gems. Before we do that, I'm gonna replace my flasks. And we're gonna go back to town. Open this chest while we're here. Yeah. Portal. Now, when you go back to town, your portal is gonna stay open. So you can actually take the portal back, but once you take it back, it's gonna close, so it will not be there anymore. So you can actually like portal back to town, use the well, so you're gonna fill everything, and then you can just take your portal back. Pretty cool. Now we can talk about card support gems really quick. Right click them just like any gem, but instead of giving you like active skills, they will give you support skills to support your active skills. For example, if I click on Ice Nova right here, I can pick up Defreeze, Hourglass, or Magnified Area. Now you can see Magnified Area is going to give me 35% increased area of effect. Hourglass deal like 30% more damage, a cooldown of 10 seconds. So that means I will deal more damage per use, but I'll only be able to use it every 10 seconds. Defreeze, increased freeze duration on enemies. So that means whenever I freeze enemies with my skill, which is Ice Nova, they're going to be frozen for 50% longer time. First bomb, magnified effects, you can see prolonged duration or rapid casting, so it's faster casting time. Now what I'm actually going to use is I'm going to use defreeze on my Ice Nova, because I do want to freeze enemies for longer. Or maybe the magnified effects, so I have more area of effect. I think defreeze is better, so I can just freeze them for longer. Yeah, let's do that. Right, so I got everything. I'm gonna open up my stash, and then I can control click on my currency, and then they will go here in my currency stash tab. Let's talk to Una.
Hello.
Because I actually want to buy
I think it's charming.
a new staff. Perfect. This is perfect. 76% increased spell damage. Wow. For 500, of course I'm gonna buy
I
this.
suppose I can let that one go.
Yep, you can, and you have no option. By the way, you can buy scrolls of wisdom using gold. If you did not know that, so if you ever run out of these, you can just buy them with gold. So this one requires level 6, so we are not there yet, but once we get level 6, we're gonna swap our basic staff with this staff, which is gonna give us access to, instead of the fireball, they will give us access to the freezing shards, which is a ice-based skill, fitting for an ice build. All right, take the portal back, and we're gonna take a look around the things here. What are we looking for? We're looking for the Bramblegast and the Tree of Souls. Let's look for these bosses so we can actually get some experience and swap our stuff. A shard is a piece of currency. It's not a full currency item yet, but it is a piece of it. You can see that the stack size is 1 out of 10. And then you can see a stack of 10 shards becomes a regal orb. So a regal shard becomes regal orb, and so on. I think here we have not explored to the south. To the south we shall go. Goodbye. Boom. This is why I love cold builds, because cold builds you just your enemy is just helpless. All they can do is just watch you as you demolish them and their friends and everybody around them. I feel a bit evil for this, but it is super fun. I mean, you're attacking werewolves, you're not attacking like good people, so we can have some fun with those. Let's use here evasion maximum. Useless. I'm mainly interested in the affixes, by the way, instead of the built-in modifiers, because built-in modifiers are easy to grab because they are tied to the base item itself. But modifiers are the ones that are hard to come by. This is why I'm reading the modifiers of an item instead of like the built-in modifier. Alright, looks like we explored a bit to the south. Let's explore this big area right here, see what's up there. But let's just get these fog of war removed, and then we'll be going a bit north. Can go around, just check this area here. Maybe this is where the tree is, or maybe it's on the left here. Just want to get to level 6 so I can use my... Oh, that's a checkpoint. And there we go. This is the tree.
The very trees tremble with sickness.
Oh boy. Yep, you need to like stay on your toes essentially, because some attacks are super annoying and unexpected. But so far, we've been doing great. Now we can just watch as it does. Perfect. Now we get a skill gem level 3. Rough Greaves, our second yellow item. Cool. Oh! We got a... What's it called? Gilid? Gilid staff, yeah. And it has a socket. Now this socket, you can use it to put a rune on your item. Runes just give you extra like modifiers. Plus 1 level to all of cold spell skills. This is pretty cool. We might use this over our one here. I'll actually like decide, I don't know which one to use yet. Now going or using this, we can upgrade our Ice Nova to level 2 now. And 16, of course we're gonna use this over like the regular one, because just the amount of although this one has 47 armor, this one has 22, but also you get fire resistance, lightning resistance, life regeneration, mana. So overall it is a better deal for us. Alright. Whoops. We are not level 6 yet, which is sad. Oh, we forgot to talk to Renly to grab our reward, honestly. We can go back to the town and just do that. I don't think the reward is worth it. But, I mean, it's free stuff, so... Yeah! Oh, yeah! I don't like that. She says these. We're just gonna call them voice lines. She says these voice lines way too often. The red veil. This is our next like progression area. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the red veil, and then unlock the waypoint. And then from the waypoint, we're gonna go back to town. That way we can TP back to red veil directly.
Hello. Please, take your time.
Now this won't.
It is a support gem actually. Never mind. It is worth it. My bad. My bad, bruh. First bomb. We're gonna get magnified effect or rapid casting. Maybe magnified effect. Yeah. So our first bomb now is gonna be bigger, stronger, better. You come here with flexing your. Yeah. Okay. These are very cool birds. I'm not gonna say anything. By the way, there are a bunch of like every microtransaction in this game is purely cosmetic. The only thing that is arguable in like power is the stash tabs, and this is it. So like currency stash tabs and items and stuff like that, like specific stash tabs, people argue that they give you like make the game better for you, but this is all nothing from the power or making you stronger in any way, shape or form. It is just for your experience with the game.
Before, these are not here by chance.
Now let's use our bigger frost bomb, and you can see it is almost the size of this thing. Finally, we can use our thing. Okay, so should we use this or should we use this? Uncut skill gem, that's cool. The only thing I don't like about the game is that there's no way to test damage numbers. So it doesn't show you damage numbers, and there's no way to test if you will be dealing more damage using this item or that item. But I guess you could take a look at what? So yeah, this one says DPS 21 and this one says DPS 19. Deep 32, 22. Okay, so it looks like this one is gonna give me like pure raw DPS, but if I use a rune that gives me maybe more like spell damage, I could use this instead. So I'm gonna leave it here for now. So I guess you could use this as a reference, but I still don't like it that much. Maybe this gives you like a lot of more details. But yeah, just pure numbers over a dummy or something would be better in my opinion.
That may hold what I see.
Now this skill is my built-in staff skill, which is super powerful compared to the... It is like a shotgun, really. You can get super close to your enemies. I mean, they're already charging you. So you get super close to them, and then boom. And if all 4 shards hit them, you are gonna like literally just farm them. Or you will freeze them, just like that. And this is why
Dead seem to rise in every direction.
I love this staff. Not only because I'm playing a cold build. Actually, in my older cold build, I was using a lightning staff, which fires the lightning bolt. It was better for me then, or like there. Yeah, something similar to this. Because I wanted to, like from range, destroy or kill low-level mobs. Who the fuck is this guy? Actually, I don't think I've seen this guy before. And guess what? I can use the firewall to put my frozen shards on fire, which make them stronger or better. And a lot cooler. So look. And now they have fire.
Desert fire.
Boom. Boom. Yep, just shotgun. Shotgun. Boom. Okay, so you can see how cool playing cold is, but you can also see how dangerous it is because it depends on the monsters getting closer. So you can actually like chill them with Ice Nova and then shotgun them with the freezing shards and so on. Now you can see the infusion is only affecting my Ice Nova, so my freezing shards will not benefit anything from the ice, from the infusion. Although if it did, that would be broken because it's already super strong. Cool, cool, cool. We are destroying this or these. We should destroy all of these. Oh, not this guy. Well, not anymore. He's dead now. Right, up, let's go for rest. One more quality item or quality like currency, which gives you quality on your item. Boom. Whoops.
That voice, it is bound to this place.
What does that even mean? Like space itself is talking? I mean, you'll find it was just a boss and you're gonna kill it.
The last of what I've seen.
Right, the Rust King. The king of nothing. Trying to get him shocked so I can do more damage to him. Yep, he's frozen now, but he's not shocked.
Now, Battle Lord.
Accept your death. Rope cuffs. Let's see. Accuracy rating. We do not care about accuracy. Accuracy is essentially important for... you can, by the way, read that. I forgot to explain this actually. So if you hold Alt on an item and then hover over these things that have like underlines or dashes, you'll see more stuff about it. So accuracy is used to hit a target with an attack, checked against the target's evasion to determine the chance. So it's basically counters evasion on an enemy to see if your hit would hit it or not. But it's used on an attack, so us using spells does not matter. Maximum life, rarity and cold resistance, and I think it's better than our stupid glove. Okay, so now maybe you don't know what to do, like you already killed the boss. You don't know what to do. You can take a look on the right here. It will give you your current objectives, or you can press U. And then you can see we don't have anything to do in the Red Veil anymore. We could go back to the Clearfell encampment, and we can do that easily by opening a portal, taking the portal, and voila, we will be back at town. Now I'm gonna stop the part 1 here. We already talked about a lot of things. We talked about skills, we talked about your items, which speaking of, we could actually grab some frost darts.
Frost darts.
So you can see
fires
frost darts
multiple
here.
Icy projectiles that create explosive fragments on hitting a chilled or frozen enemy. It can also consume a cold infusion to make the darts themselves explode.
Yep. You can see what like a introduction video over here, which gives you like a quick overview of what it does. But you can see why we can pick up these frost darts, because they are super fun. Also, they can pass through flame wall, which is cool. Now I think Spark has outgrown its usefulness with us, so it is time for it to retire. And I don't want shards, sorry, I want darts. There's a big difference there. And we can use a support gem on our freezing shards, which I think the casting speed is one of the main things that you are going to benefit from, because it is super slow, and getting cast speed with this thing is gonna make you shoot faster, or like cast it faster, which makes it better. Orb of Alchemy. So it upgrades a normal or magic item to a rare item with 4 random modifiers. So it upgrades a blue or yellow, sorry, a white or blue to a yellow. So I can use it on my item here, and you can see it got 88% increased spell damage, which is cool. We got +2 level. So now it, wow, we actually got super cool modifiers here. +2 level to all spell skills, which is insane. 14% increased cast speed, which is lovely. And +34 to maximum mana, which is okay. Now, there's something that I forgot to mention. If you press K on your keyboard, you can actually open the MTX, or no, not the microtransactions, sorry. If you press K, you're gonna open your your skins, and I actually have a bunch of skins that I did not use. Glove skins, boot skins, and then armor, and now I am a traveler. And then weapon skins, boom. Now every staff I carry is gonna be looking like this. Awesome. You can also click buy more here. You'll be taken to the MTX microtransaction store, and you can easily just buy the currency from there. If you like the game, if you want to support the game, then do that. But otherwise, they will not give you any like extra powers or anything. The one thing that I would suggest buying is the maps and currency stash tabs. These things will, like, in a humongous way, change your gameplay. But of course, when you are actually committed to playing the game, because it will be taking hours upon hours upon hours of your time. So yeah, we're gonna call part 1 right here. I think I've explained enough about a game for any beginner to get started. The one thing that I would say here, do not be scared about the passive skills here. What you want to do is essentially just read what are the next ones that you could get, and then just grab the one that feels right to you. And from there, once you actually get into the game, you'll start to learn more and more, and you will, like, picking up your passive skills will become natural. The more you learn about the game, and the more you play the game, and the more you understand the mechanics and stuff. So for example, I started out here. I had these 2 options. I could just read, do I want energy shield or do I want spells? Now, if I don't know what a spell is, I could just hold Alt and then hover my mouse over it, and then you can see some stuff there. If you actually click, it's gonna keep it pinned, so it's not gonna close. And then you can hover over more stuff, and you can also click left click, and so on. Now, do I want energy shield? Do I want spell damage? I want spell damage, so I'm going with that. Do I want more spell damage? Of course, I have no other option. Unless I could pick up +5 to any attribute here, which I don't care about. I want spell damage, so I'm using spells as my main source of damage. So I do want more of that. Then when I'm here, do I want this? Do I want that? And so on. We talked about items and rarities really quick. We talked about a few currency items. I'm not gonna explain each currency item here. You can, we're gonna leave these to part 2 maybe, where we can get more into crafting. If you like that video, give it a like, give me some comments, tell me what you want to see different in these videos. My channel is just a baby right now. I'm still making an insane mix of cybersecurity, development, and gaming videos, because these are the things that I like. I don't care about the algorithm being confused. I don't care about anything else. I'm not a YouTuber really. I am just a guy who enjoys recording himself and just blabbing. So yeah, if you want to see something different in these videos, let me know. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all of that cool stuff. And thank you for watching. See ya.